Oh, go on, man. I see you. Right, and so what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about something that's quite important, and something that's actually featured itself on my channel twice now in the episodes of What's Cracking Off This Week. Then I want to talk about some of the incidents that have happened as a direct result of football, and the main thing that we're talking about is why people think it's acceptable to be smashing up emergency services vehicles. Like, I'm just gonna have to roll something. I'm gonna apologize that it is on my phone. I have no way of recording on my computer. It's not very good, so unfortunately we're using the screen recorder on the old iPhone. So, but have a look. So you can clearly see that this lass thinks it's completely acceptable, and everybody else around her, to jump on top of this vehicle. Why? Why would you do that? That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what? Now, it is just piling on to why people think that football is a hooligan's game. Like, it's supported by hooligans and played by people that dance around and roll on the floor if anyone touches them. And this kind of thing 100% argues that in its favour. I'm just going to see if I can move some light a little bit more. I look, I'm really red. I promise I'm not that red. I actually picked up a little bit of something from camping, but I digress. But the fact that this girl thinks it's fine to be jumping on things and everybody else, like I said before, it argues the point as to why football is a hooligan sport. When, you know, there's that saying I hear all the time that football is a gentleman's sport played and supported by hooligans, whereas rugby is a hooligan sport played and supported by gentlemen. And it's so true, so true, so true. And I just want to argue the point as well. I'll show you another clip as to what happens when somebody else who's an England fan decides to jump on an emergency services vehicle in another country. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, so there's no prizes for anyone that can guess where that country is, because I tell you now, it's certainly not England. You know, you walk up to the cop, oh, jumping on car, nothing happens. This is Russia. I mean, I'm not condoning it. Like, the guy looked like he got a pretty heavy beating, like, but at the same time, you know, you have to assert that dominance. You have to be kind of saying, you know, you don't do that to emergency services. They're there to protect you. If you're jumping on them, you're technically posing a threat to them. You know, you can kind of see how they could swing. It would go in their favour in court. You know, if you're jumping on top of their van or whatever, they're like, oh, well, you thought it was trying to attack us. You know, you can kind of see it. So, you know, I'm not saying we should go around beating this girl up, but she does need to get some justice. And as it so happens, just like this ice cold glass of water, justice is served. Stay hydrated. So it turns out, after this thing blew up on the internet, basically they've found pictures and pictures of this bird, and people have come forward and said, look, I know this girl, this is her name, they know who she is, and now we're just waiting for the police to go over there, do the business, add the handcuffs. And not the handcuffs she's probably used to either. In terms of what kind of sentence I think she'll get, you know, I can't imagine it's going to be anything too hefty. I mean, you're probably looking at some sort of community service, maybe a fine of some sort, something like that. I don't think she's going to go to jail, depending on her history. If her history of, you know, violence and, what is it, defacing property and things like that, I'm not a lawyer. I mean, look at me. I work on a building site. But yeah, I don't think much is going to happen. She'll have a hefty fine, good telling off. She'll be on the record. You know, enough is going to happen, and that you know, in my eyes, that's justice, isn't it? That is justice. But as we wrap up this video, I want to take the time to say, just think about what you're doing. If you can't handle the drink, don't bother. If you can't handle it and you're going to start doing stupid stuff like this, don't bother doing it, because you're going to get yourself into trouble, you're going to get other people into trouble, and it's just not going to be good. Like, why do it? This girl is now going to have a criminal record. That's like, she could lose her job, it can affect her getting new jobs, like, it's going to cripple her for a long time. It's going to take a while to get over this. It really, really is. And, you know, people need to learn that, you know, you can't do these kind of things to the emergency, to anything. If it's not, I mean, do it to your own car, but by all means, like, if you want to fucking jump on your car, then off your pop, mate. No worries. I'll give you a leg up if you want. But somebody else's stuff, especially like something that's technically the public's as well, it's there for public safety. Like, imagine if somebody was in need of that vehicle, if all the other vehicles were gone, that vehicle was in need, it's been written off, it's been, you know, it has to be taken away and fully repaired, it's weeks out of service, you know, and that could be, you know, the difference between saving somebody and not saving somebody. And I hate to leave a video on a bleak message like that, but it's just is what it is, you know. Think about what you're doing next time, boys. On that note, see y'all later. Adios.